Leader, your favorite diva, and I'm back. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let the diva know you stopped by. Make sure you subscribe if you like the vibe. If this is your first time here, welcome and welcome back, Diva Squad. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It knew what it was, and it delivered just that. I'm doing a trailer reaction. And on Nita the Diva's channel.
Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I have a very special guest with me today. His name is Lord Tyson.
Oh God.
This is Lord Tyson, and I am Lady Diva today, okay? All right. We're getting ready to talk about Damsel. Damsel, if you didn't know, is a movie that just hit Netflix yesterday. And we're getting ready to get into a spoiler review. So, Lamont, how have you been? Say hello to the people, and let's get into it.
First of all, let me just say, my lady, what a dubious honor it is to grace the presence of your channel for the first time this year. I'm elated to be in the presence of such grace. What's going on, everybody on Nita's channel? How y'all doing? This was certainly a fun film. Be sure to like her videos. Be sure to share her videos. And the sister always takes super chat. She be working her ass off, bringing you a collaboration of content from our people, they people, all people. Show the sister some love, and let's get into this review.
Thank you, Lord Tyson.
Lady Diva.
We're going to get into it, okay? So this movie, actually, I love all things Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. And when I saw the trailer, that's kind of like what it was given, like with the wardrobe, how everything was. Then add the element of the dragon. I'm like, hello, I'm on board. I'm here for it. So I was sold. I was in there. Lord Tyson said, let's do it. I said, come on, let's do it. So we here, y'all. So if you don't know, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of the movie. The movie is a dutiful damsel agrees to marry a handsome prince only to find the royal family has recruited her as a sacrifice to repay an ancient debt. Now, it's interesting. This is not a first of its kind. When I watched this, it reminded me of that movie called Ready or Not. And that's the movie where the lady got married and they was trying to present her as a sacrifice. And she came out guns a-blazing, like she did it. So it's not new to the genre, but I think it's an interesting take on it because we get the element of the dragons and we get the old times and stuff like that. So I love the way they incorporated that. So I never heard of the director. Have you heard of that director, Juan Fransnadillo?
Yeah, man. He's done a couple of things. As a matter of fact, he's working on the Crow reboot as we speak. And you've watched this, I know. You've watched 28 weeks later. And we all, he did. That was another movie that he directed too. So he did that, and he's working on the new Crow that's coming out. Unfortunately, the same damn day as Bad Boys 4.
Of course, they may change it. They may change it. I don't know. They always in Hollywood. If they're coming up against something, they may move it back, push it back, or something like that. So we'll see.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So I definitely remember 28 weeks later. Definitely, that was a great movie, actually. And I'm excited about The Crow. And I think he did a very good job on this one as well. So
he did a good job. And this thing is written by Dan Mazeau. And he is famous for, he just wrote 2023 Fast X. And he did Wrath of the Titans. That's who wrote the script.
Okay.
So I got to shout out my writers. Since I'm writing, I got to shout out the writers.
Yes.
most of the time the writers tend to want to direct, but this guy, he can direct, but he just didn't do it with this particular film.
Okay, gotcha. So we're gonna go ahead and stage dive into this. And first of all, I have on the first slide is our queen, Angela Basset. And she is the queen and the wife to the Lord there. And that is the father of our damsel in our first screen. And I don't think that they gave her enough, but I still enjoyed what they did because she was still a very integral part. She was very important. And we'll actually get to it. Something is going on in their village. They're kind of like a lord. They have their own, kingdom and stuff like that. But their people, they were falling on hard times, and so they did this proposal with the royal family in order to secure resources and stuff for their land and their people. So he was ecstatic because, of course, we're about to get attached to royalty, and this is a good look for the kingdom. Mm-hmm. However, we get into it. We meet the royals.
Lord.
Now, what I want to say, I know, right? What I want to say, we start off the scene with our main character. What is her name again?
Elodie. Played by Millie Bobby Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Can I dare call? You know how certain actors have monikers, Lord Diva?
Yeah.
She has a, like Samuel L. Jackson, we call him the cuss master. The chick Elizabeth, I can't think of her last name, from Handmaid's Tale, she cry on demand like that. Mm-hmm. Millie Bobby Brown, she the scream master. This chick just be screaming her ass off. Like that's one of her monikers. Yep. Even in the Godzilla, she was screaming, and in this, she do a lot of screaming. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's a bad quality. I'm saying she's good at that particular thing that she does, and she does a lot of it here.
Right. She does. Mm-hmm. But what we do see her when they introduce her, she's out there chopping wood. So she's not like your damsel. You know what I'm saying? She got some, she has some lived experiences. It looks like she knows how to take care of herself and all of the things. So that was one thing that I noticed about her. I was like, okay. And so we'll get into it though.
Mm-hmm. She definitely wasn't a damsel in distress, none the least. And she was out there teaching her sister Flora, played by Brooke Carter, how to survive and letting her know that shit, it get cold up here in this damn north. You feel me? Yeah. we low on resources, it's cold. And then if you remember, Nita, they saw like a royal wagon trail rolling into the kingdom, which is what preempted them to go back into there and see the red priestess talking to the daddy, which got them to where we're at now.
Exactly. So they go to meet the royals. And we don't like them, y'all. We do not like the royals, okay? We are team Elodie over here, okay? So
some of us might be team dragon. I mean, I'm just saying.
Listen, I did a tweet when I watched it. I said, this is the Game of Thrones happy ending, Targaryen happy ending that I wanted for Game of Thrones. That tweet got a lot of eyeballs and reposts and stuff like that. So I think that people probably feel the same way, but that's the comparison that I kind of gave it. So
yeah.
So they go to meet the royals. Now everybody, she was kind of hesitant on it. Of course, people back then didn't want to do these arranged marriages and stuff like that. So she was kind of hesitant. And the way the prince was looking at her, he was kind of looking like he had a little disdain for her. I was like, oh, maybe he was just looking his nose down at her. But she caught on and she was like this, why don't you like me? What's going on? And then he was just like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it or whatever. So he's trying to smooth it over. They end up bonding and getting to know each other pretty well. And then she gets wrapped up into this fantasy that she's going to be a princess and all this stuff. So she was fine. However, Queen Mother had a conversation with the royal queen. And baby, she said, something is not right. Lamont, tell us a little bit more about this particular scene and what the queen said that actually shifted Angela Bassett from the
I'm going to paraphrase this, ladies and gentlemen. Angela Bassett's character is Lady Bayford, and Robin Wright is playing Queen Bitch Isabella. I think that's what her name was, Queen Bitch Isabella, and her ugly ass son was Prince Henry. Okay. This was the conversation that let Lady Bayford know that something was afoot, and not to mention how Lord Bayford went into a closed door room meeting with Queen Isabella and didn't let his wife come in there. And she's the stepmama of his two kids. Didn't let the wife come in there. And then when the meeting is over, the queen just dismissively walks past Lady Bayford. The husband comes out and said he made a deal, he got gold, but didn't tell her the whole truth. And so Lady Bayford says, since we about to be family, let me ingratiate myself to the royals. So she goes and tries to have a conversation with bitch Queen Isabel. And she basically told her in so many words, know your role, shut your mouth. This is nothing but a transaction. We need a bride. Your broke ass was living in the hood in poverty, even though Angela was dressed to the tens now. Look, they probably wouldn't be in poverty if she was dressing the way she was supposed to dress. Her ass was to the tens. Skin looked good, hair looked good, makeup, she was looking good. But anyway, basically told her, know your role, shut your mouth. This is a transaction. We need a bride. You need money. That's what we here for. And then in the end, she called her daughter the wrong name. She called the chick Eloise. Right. It's Elodie, not Eloise. And from there, Lady Bayford immediately runs in there to try to have a conversation with her daughter, but it falls on deaf ears.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just so funny how you just want to just tell people, please listen to wisdom. Listen to wisdom. We've been there. We've done it. Like it's so unfortunate that sometimes that happens. So,
and the thing, the dynamic, Nita, did you pick up on this too? Elodie and Flora, they lost their real mom. She's a stepmom.
Yes.
And did you notice how at times they would reminisce about the stepmom? Actually, when she bust through the door, her and the sister was having a conversation about their real mom, right? And it felt like Lady Bayford was trying to do everything she could to better the relationship between her and the girls. Like she could win stepmama of the year the way she was trying to love on these girls, give them wisdom. And at the end of the day, Elodie felt like she had to sacrifice getting married to this boy in order to save the people. That's what she felt.
Right, right. Like it was almost her duty, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yes, that's what they were doing that. So this is when it starts getting good, y'all. Let me tell you.
Yeah, we're about to get the act. Yeah, we're about to get the act 2 after this.
Yes. So we get to the ceremony. The ceremony is beautiful, all that pomp and circumstance. Then immediately after they go to this place, I guess it's the dragon's lair, and they say that there's a ceremony, something that they have to continue to do. This is something in their culture, you know what I'm saying? So they were just trying to present it as it's just normal, it's just normal. Come on, let's go on up here. And they was escorted to the people, to the lair. They had this dagger where they had to join hands, join blood. So it made her of royal blood. So through the marriage and the pact and stuff like that. So she said everything. And I was like this, Millie Bobby Brown, Elodie, are you listening to them? Because I was like, I got it. I heard what they were saying. So I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. So the next thing you know, y'all, I forgot to give you a little bit of a backstory. I didn't capture a picture for that, but they did show that centuries ago, the king that was over that particular, the royal family, that king had went down there with an army of people thinking that they was going to do something to that dragon, slay the beast. And it went horribly wrong. It went horribly, and that's putting it lightly, okay? It went horribly, horribly wrong. And with that whole thing being said, we didn't get the full story. So we got a little bit of the story, but we didn't know what happened to the king. And some of the stuff was kind of left out. And I thought that was a good choice to kind of keep giving us some of the lore, the history and stuff like that, fed to us through, throughout the story. And so they showed that. And so we know that this dragon is still here. They say it's the last of their kind and all of this stuff. And they made a pact. And in this pact, they need a sacrifice. And so this is generation after generation after generation. They have to bring 3 brides per prince to complete this sacrifice where the dragon will be happy. Okay. So.
And you know why it was 3? You remember why it was 3? In the beginning? Oh, okay. I thought, okay. Gotcha.
We'll see. But I mean, we can talk about it now because it's a spoiler review.
Well, they showed it in the beginning. We just didn't know what it meant.
Okay.
Like in the beginning.
I thought it was a reveal at the end.
It could have been, but basically, while they was down there, they done something to 3 of her kinfolk. And then we'll talk about it when Nita's got it in her slideshow.
Yeah, well, no, I don't have a picture of that either. So that's why I said we could just talk about it. So what happened? So once we get the pack, now we know that there were 3 dragon eggs, and they weren't just dragon eggs. The eggs had hatched. So we had full, like, born dragons. And the king ended up telling the people to slay the young. So they killed, they unalived all 3 of the baby dragons, and it pissed the queen dragon off. So that's what that was. I was like, ooh. I was like, this is just getting better and better. I'm like, I'm just getting all the morsels and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like this. It's kind of fantasy type, epic. I don't think it's an epic story, but I think what they were trying to do was trying to give it, some epic proportions, but it didn't quite, just do it.
I'll say it's mid-level epic. Yeah, because it's not low-grade epic by no means. Right. It's mid-level epic. This is Women's History and Empowerment Month, and all the great leads in this film were women. All of them, powerful women doing big shit. From Millie Bobby Brown, who helped executive produce and act in this, to Robin Wright, who you could legitimately say is the godmother of Netflix with what she did in House of Cards and how that took Netflix to new levels. And of course, what is there to say about the incomparable Oscar-winning Angela Bassett? Incomparable.
So this was. I mean, I don't know what people saw the problem with, but
I think the CGI needed some of it, because that's where you're going to hear my gripe. A little bit of the CGI, not all of it, because I thought most of it was fine.
Decent. I thought the dragon looked pretty good. No,
that fucker looked like a gremlin that grew a lizard body to me. That's what she looked like. Like, you can go get a gremlin from 1980, stick it on a lizard's body, give it some wings, let it blow some fire that come out like lava. That's what I thought of the damn dragon. But I love the dragon's voice. That voice was menacing. Yeah, that was a scary voice.
Now listen.
Yeah,
that kind of threw me off. I said, the damn dragon can talk.
See, me too. Like, that's a difference between this and Game of Thrones. However, they did stick us an Easter egg for Game of Thrones in there. The kingdom and the lair of the dragon is on an island called Arya. Like Arya Stark type thing, And this dragon can legitimately speak the Queen's English better than some of us can. That bitch was in there talking. She needed a friend, y'all. This dragon had she had psychological issues, and who wouldn't? If 3 people, if someone killed your 3 last children, we don't know where the hell the husband is at that impregnated you. I guess he did, and you've been dealing with this for centuries. You would need a friend or some therapy too. So it sounded to me like she needed to go sit on Uncle Shay couch and drink some Le Portier by Shay and blow some fire in there, and she would have been good.
Right. I love that. So when Vaughn joined and said it was fire, I thought
it was good. It was good.
We both thought so. We'll get into some of the things that we probably had problems with towards the end of the recap. Right. But I thought it was fire as well. I was really, really pleasantly surprised because Netflix movies, they're kind of hit or miss.
They are.
Usually their shows are always or most times on point, but their movies
can be spotty.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of this whole ceremony, he said, "I have to pick you up," and she was like, "I can walk. I can walk now." And then so he was like, "You got to close your eyes too." And then next thing you know, this said he was sorry and threw her ass over the cliff into the lair. And baby, when I was like, wow, that was crazy for me. So that was the exciting incident that is going to kick off all of what's going on when we get to the action and the stuff, the plot of the movie. So she was down there fighting for her life, baby. And while she was down there, she's seen that there were plenty of other women who were thrown down there. Even some used chalk to leave clues, to write their name, tell you that this is a safe space down here. She can't get to you. So it was, I was like, I'm liking the lore. I like what they were doing and stuff like that. And so that's why I kind of give it like the fantasy epic type thing, because, with the dragon talking and, you can't for certain say that this is like true life or whatever. But I just thought it gave me the whimsical, the fantastical things or whatever.
Now, that ceremony that got us to being in the dragon's pit got on my nerves, because in order to fake that these people are bloodline, like Nita said, they slice your hand up and then they let you rub hands with the prince. All right. Now, the prince, obviously, he was a little smitten for Elodie. He liked her. Yeah. He definitely liked her. And it bothered me when he picked her up and she trusted him to carry her across the damn bridge threshold. And this MF is going to just whisper, "I'm sorry," and toss her over the cliff like a sack of groceries. Like, don't let this MF bag your damn groceries, okay? You're going to lose all your stuff. and she gets down there and she encounters the talking dragon. But like Nita said, she found clues to let her know that she wasn't the first one down there. She's seen relics. But something I thought was big, Nita, that we didn't really talk about, the ceremonial dress that they put her in wind up being one of the pieces of instrument that really helped save her and get the hell up out of this damn pit. Like, she used every part of that dress. There was a knife on the inside of it, the little ring thing that kept the corset tied up. She used every bit of it to eventually get to safety.
Yeah, you definitely could tell. Like I said, I love that in the beginning they kind of set it up that we know that she's a survivor. So
right.
Yeah, I love that they did that. But yeah, you are so right. And so this dragon is pretty much, she told her that this always happens, and you're gonna end up dead, and just go ahead and accept your fate. Now, what I did notice about that fire looked like lava.
It was lava.
I was like, oh, that's an interesting little take on there. While we were down there, we put a little glow in the dark leeches or worms or something that had healing properties.
Yeah, the glow worms, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was all in. I was like, oh, this is what's up. Because at first I was like, I was scared. I was like, oh, I don't like to see like leeches and stuff like that. But then I saw that it was healing her. I said, oh. She was like, oh, I underestimated you. And so she got the heal. I said, what you need to do is put it on that cut so the dragon don't smell that royal blood no more. But I never saw her do that. She had like a
burn. She had a burn,
burn on her leg, and so, but she never did do the hand. I was like, dang, she did that because I remember the dragon saying that. So once she got here and got to the end, she starts to see. Oh yeah, there was a major scare. That it was a jump scare when the dragon came up and just, I was like, oh my God, I didn't think the dragon could get out of the lair or something. I thought for some reason I thought it was confined to the lair. I didn't know that. It was everywhere.
Because remember in the beginning, in the very beginning, the men slipped into the lair while the dragon had just got finished burning up something in the kingdom, got back in the lair and snuck up on them after they had already took care of her babies. So she can definitely get in and out. But right here at this scene where Nita's talking about, we thinking she's free. Well, semi-free, because in order to go anywhere, she's either going to have to do some hang gliding, some cliff hanging, or she's going to have to figure out a way to get somebody to help her. And as she's screaming to people down there, in swoops that dragon and tells her, you're not getting away from me, little bird. But Nita, did you have a problem with the dragon playing around with these people? I had a problem with that.
Oh,
like, dude, why are you toying around with these girls? I think part of it was this dragon didn't like human beings because of what human beings had did to her kids. And granted, we would probably feel some kind of way if another race held us in bondage for 400 years and then we want to get some revenge. We might would toy with them too. But having said all that, if the goal is just to kill these people, she had several times she could have killed her and never did. She just was toying with her. And so at one point in time, I'm just like, this is what you get. This is why she escaped, because you down here toying with the girl, basically threatening her and trying to scare her, this type thing. And you really don't even understand that these are not the bloodline of the folks you think they are.
Right. And we're going to get to that as well. What actually ended up happening, I think she saw the people down there, but she saw her father. Her father ended up coming back and coming back for her. And I was like, yes. I was so happy that he did that.
Because I was killing the daddy. I was killing that daddy. Now, I was killing that daddy. Like you was the worst dad of the year for the longest time. And then when that happened, I started saying, okay.
Right. Yeah, he redeemed himself. He apologized and all that stuff. So all of a sudden, she was doing all this screaming throughout the movie. And then all of a sudden, when they start calling out for her, now she mute. Now she on Beyonce mute, child.
But you remember why she was mute?
Yes. She learned she learned her lesson. Because the dragon would come and stuff like that. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be. So she learned her lesson from screaming down there at those people. So then when her chariot comes, her saving grace comes, she on Beyonce mute challenge. I said, Lord. So,
but she had to be on mute though, because remember the dragon had apprehended the daddy. If you recall. And the dragon kept telling daddy, call her. I can smell her. She's in here looking. And the daddy, in his last great speech, basically said, I love you, my daughter. I made a wrong mistake. Do not answer this damn dragon. And one thing I don't see much in Game of Thrones that we saw with this dragon used its tail and its claws to kill people. And that's how the dragon dealt with the daddy. But I also was left thinking this too, Nita. You got those glowworms of life. That's what I'm calling them. The glowworms of life. Why you ain't use a glowworm on your daddy when the dragon went away? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that they were in a different part of the layer. And then I think when she finally got to the father, he bled out so bad. You saw he was like in a pool of blood. Like I mean, but that would have been a good save, because I thought she was at one point she was carrying them with her because they was giving her light that she needed to get through the cave and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that would have been a nice little touch, because it did seem like it was almost, the healing was almost immediate.
Like they could have crawled in his heart and restarted that bitch if that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Crick click, vroom. You know, think about giving somebody a jump. That would have been a jump.
Exactly. So she ends up, and the father came not by himself, and he told his crew they cannot leave until his daughter is out of that cave. So
out of there.
So hook or crook. So during that time, the other people were basically a distraction for the dragon, because they were trying to either get out and they was making noise and stuff like that. And so the dragon would, be distracted and going after the other people. She finally gets to her father. He gives her the speech. He says, use the ropes to get out of here. The ship, your stepmom is down there in the ship, and your sister and stuff like that. And he told her that. He apologized. He said he was sorry, and he took his last breath. And she gave him a kiss. And I thought it was a very emotional scene, well done scene, even though Elodie didn't say much, but I thought that his send-off was good. And I think, it was a nice little redemption to his character moving forward through the movie.
Elodie could have saved her daddy by putting them glowworms all over his body. Dad, Elodie, you forgot about that.
Right.
Save a dad.
So she climbed up out of there, not without, the dragon was on her. She was trying to get to her or whatever, but she ended up getting out of there.
Right.
She goes back. However, plot twist. Once the royal family found out that she had escaped, she said, I'm going to get the sister. So she went to go get the little sister, and that's when she actually stabbed Lady
Bayford. She stabbed Lady Bayford. And they found out that Elodie got away because the dragon was just burning the damn kingdom up again, burning stuff up. So they go get Floria, the sister, and in the process, she being so disrespectful to Lady Bayford, she just
exactly.
Did you really have to ninja knife her like that?
I could not.
You ain't had to do that.
But that was the only way she was gonna get that little girl. Because she knew she was gonna protect her, do her best to protect her. So she definitely had to do it, because she wasn't going to just get her just with no fight. So
sir.
And Miss Angela Basset looked like she got them guns, and she
would
do a little 1-2.
Hey, you already know.
So that being said, they go get her. She gets back. She talks to Lady Bayford, and she sees that she's wounded, and she was like, they took your sister. And she was like, oh my God. But the good thing is that she just fought this maze. So I think she's definitely going to be more confident. Go in there, do what she got to do to get her sister. She knows, how to interact with the dragon, even though, that lava, a little something different. But she goes in there confidently. She tells Angela Bassett's character that her husband is dead. She was like, she pretty much kind of said that he didn't make it without saying it. And so she was kind of sad. Well, she was sad. And she told her to go get her sister. So that's exactly what she went to do. And the thing that now that we can talk with the dragon, she said, I'm going to tell her the truth. Because she doesn't know that this plan, this thing that they've been executing all these centuries and centuries, they've been playing in your face, girl. You're not even getting their bloodline. They are getting innocent women to become a part of their bloodline and just using them without consequence.
Right.
And so when she went to go do that, the dragon pretty much turned on. It felt like the dragon just kind of had like a come to Jesus moment. And then next thing you know, you said the dragon needed a friend. So now we got a friend. So now we have an ally.
But here's the problem with that. She won an ally till she got that ass beat. That's the problem with it. The dragon didn't become an ally till she got that ass beat and was on death's door and asked the girl to kill her. Now, I did have a problem. I did have a problem with this, Nita. I'm sorry. Most of my problems were with the dragon. I did have a problem that the dragon could breathe fire. You see the dragon neck on fire and everything. Mm-hmm. Lady Elodie was able to find a damn clamshell in the dragon pit, get in front of it, jump out the way when the dragon spews the lava fire out of its mouth, and it reflected back on top of the dragon and hurt the dragon.
Oh, yes, yes.
I had a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with her stabbing the dragon in the eye, stabbing the dragon in the chicken wing, stabbing the dragon in the hand. She put a hurting on that dragon, but what really hurt the dragon was the dragon's own lava. How your own lava? How your hot breath come out of your body?
Right.
And then you can't take it on the outside. I had a problem.
Right. That is true. That is true.
Yeah. But after she got that ass beat, then she saw that this girl didn't kill her. Actually, she wound up saving the dragon by putting the glowworms of life everywhere that she had stabbed up on this dragon and was burned up on the dragon, from the eyeball to the wing she tore up to the hand she tore up. And after that,
Daddy ain't getting no glowworms for Daddy.
Thank you. Just kill off all the men. Why don't we? Okay, just sucker punch us. We don't need us for nothing. And she saved the dragon, and that's when the dragon realized, okay, I might need to take you seriously because you could have done me and you didn't, and I'm the last of my kind.
Right. Absolutely. Thanks for chiming in on that part because I did forget about it. So yeah.
Oh yes, teamwork, baby.
Yeah, that was definitely a good scene. And I think she had her Daenerys Targaryen moment. She went out there and now this is the controversial part of, kind of like what I've heard the criticisms being about it. But she went and she could have just killed the royal family, but that dragon destroyed the whole city. Now the critics have a problem with because it feels like they're getting their just due. They're getting what they're supposed to get or whatever. But in the big scheme of things, now that she's torn down that whole kingdom, where are the resources? You still don't have the resources for your kingdom, your people going back, so a lot of the criticisms come like her becoming the mad queen, kind of like the Daenerys moment. And we just don't have any resolution. A lot of those people were innocents. They may have been complicit, but so that's the thing. People, the controversy, I might say, with the online discourse about the ending of the movie. How you feel about it?
Okay, because I hadn't heard none of that. I try to keep my head down and read at max 3 reviews, so that my review process is not dissuade. You mean to tell me? But first of all, people do understand that this island is nothing more than just a kingdom. There ain't no commoners on the island other than the ones they bring there to marry the prince. And if you recall, she told everybody, you need to run right now if you value your life or something like that, she said. So I'm paraphrasing. Okay. Like the new girl that was about to marry the prince, she told her to get the hell out of Dodge.
Right.
She turns around, tells everybody else, get the hell out of Dodge if you value your life.
Right.
And the kingdom, the queen and everybody else, they looked at her like, we're supposed to be afraid of you, right? We're supposed to be afraid of you. And she's like, no. And then she points to the sky and the dragon comes and roasts everybody in that moment.
Right.
They left it as though, first of all, when the dragon started roasting people, Elodie was still there. So if we can safely assume she got away, I would think we can safely assume all the other common folk that she came and said run, they got away too.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then on the back end, where you said they was complaining, okay, so what are you going to do for riches and all that stuff now? Right? Okay, they left stealing their ship. So I'm going to safely assume they took some of the riches with them. But then on top of that, you got the ultimate riches with you. You got yourself a 7,000 pound,
dragon,
probably taller than the Statue of Liberty, pet dragon coming with you.
Nuclear weapon.
Right. So you got all the riches you need to go for. So either they didn't want to use their imagination,
right,
or they felt like we should have got more story to tell that story. But I mean, it wasn't no more story need to be told for me. I get all that. Right. If Elodie got out of there, I think some of the other people got out of there. And now in a place that's been cold all the damn time, you got a fire-breathing dragon to help with all that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I didn't read too much into it. I felt like they got their comeuppance, and that's just what it was. And I was here for the ride, and I thought it was a great story to me.
It was a good movie. The only thing I missed, I would have loved to have seen her on Dragon Back with the dragon, but then I guess they would have said that's too much like Game of Thrones or something like that or whatever. But I enjoyed the film. And I could see them doing another one of these. Yeah. Now that you've got the dragon, if I was writing the story, you've got the dragon, you've got Lady Bayford, you've got Elodie and the sister. Yeah. And the sister, Elodie probably has complete brand new respect for Lady Bayford because Lady Bayford tried to warn that ass, right? Yeah. You could easily pick up on this story where, because they mentioned that the prince wanted to be a world traveler, right? If you recall, and how Elodie would like to do that too. Yeah, you could easily have her being a world traveler, going and avenging all the kingdoms in the land where they are oppressing women, girls, people like that.
I like that.
And using her dragon, and we don't know what other beastly adversaries are out there. If a dragon is out there, we certainly could have a fucking Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? Right. We certainly could have a King Kong or any beastly adversary out there that she uses. She goes on these trips and takes advantage of trying to help liberate people. So I can easily steal another. Hell, Netflix, call me. I got stories. As rappers say, I got bars. I got stories.
I know that's right. I love it. I definitely would be here for a continuation of the story.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, we still got a real live fire-breathing dragon. That's an ally, and there's more worlds to
and then at. We need some backstory on about these glowworms. How did they come to exist? How are they given life? How did the dragon not know that these damn glowworms is in there? You know, that healing property. Like, how are they able to do that? Right. You find somebody who's about to die, and you can get them to these glowworms quick enough, you can save them. You know, like I want to know about that too. So there's more story that can be told from this. Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely love the world building. A lot of the lore was very, very interesting. And I was like, I was here for it.
And they built it pretty quick because this wasn't a long movie by no means, ladies and gentlemen.
Just under 2 hours.
Yeah, this was a decent run, and they built a lure pretty fast.
Yeah. And I thought it was well paced.
I did too. The only thing that got me a little bit was Act 2 when she was in the caverns. It's slow. It's not, but I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that's when I experienced the slowest pace. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't bad. It still wasn't bad. They did handle it because she needed to find things that needed to be revealed in the cavern. She had to reveal the glowworms. She had to show off how that regal outfit they put her in helped save her. and she had to go through the scare and the complexity of a dragon who's got mental health issues doing mental health issue type stuff. So yeah, I was here for it. Yeah. What you think about the soundtrack, or did you pay attention to like the music?
I didn't even pay attention. That is odd for me, because usually I'll pay attention. But what do you think about it?
Same. It was a non-factor for me because I don't remember anything memorable about any moments that I can associate with music, and normally I do. So if I had to have another gripe, I would say that the soundtrack wasn't all that.
Okay.
The acting was fine. The acting was 100% fine. I love the outfits. I guess my nitpick, I wish Lady Bayford could have had more of a role, but at the same time, this wasn't about Lady Bayford.
That's true.
It wasn't about Queen Isabella other than being a villain. It was mainly about the relationship between this hurt dragon, like I said, mental health issues dragon, and a young lady that wants to fight for her life.
Right. Vaughn asked us, he said, what's the deal the dragon made with the king? And I thought I touched on it a little bit earlier about the three, because she lost the three dragons, her last of her lineage. Mm-hmm. She needs three, not dragons, three sacrifices.
Right.
And I don't know if it had to be women or not, but it always seemed like it was. Every generation she needed three because of the three dragons that they slayed. So that was his consequence to do it.
And she didn't kill him immediately. She let him stick around and watch this as it was happening, which plays more into this dragon being demented, wanting to toy around with things that are about to die. That's more into that dragon. And they had to be of lineage of this king. So that's why the kingdom started lying, slicing up hands down the middle and bringing in peasant girls, basically, and rubbing up on his hand so that the dragon could sense the blood of the lineage whenever they threw them down there into the caverns.
Yeah.
And did you see how that one girl, Victoria, she thought got away, made it to the end where she was standing there on the cliff, and then you seen her charred bones because she didn't quite get out because the dragon came and got her.
Right. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. I enjoyed it.
I did too. I did too. It was a good time, man.
You want a rating? How do you do your ratings?
So I have a weirder rating system than y'all professionals like you and B and Elliot. Y'all do like 1 to 5. I do my scales 0 to 10. 0 being trash dumpster fire like Madam Web, 10 being Infinity Saga. What else was that good? Bad Boys 2, all that type stuff. Right. I gave this a solid 6.5, and I'm gonna tell you reasonings for that. Number one, if at my age of being 40 plus but under 45 with 2 children, 3 and under, first of all, if I can stay awake for the whole movie, you're automatically getting a 6. Right. Damn it, you're automatically getting a 6. Okay, you're automatically getting a 6. So as a matter of fact, I'm gonna change. I'll give it a 7 because I was thoroughly entertained. Acting was fine. I didn't have a big beef with the script. The only beefs I had was I didn't really care for how the dragon looked. I didn't care for the dragon getting burned up. Didn't really care for the score that much. But other than that, yeah. So I give it a 7.
Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit more generous because there's rewatchability. I will definitely rewatch it. Definitely. So I gave it a 7.5. If I was to use the 0 to 10, I gave it 7. I'm usually a little bit more generous on my if I enjoyed it, and if I will recommend it, I will be a little bit on the more generous side.
Okay. So do you recommend it?
I absolutely do.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a recommendation for me.
Definitely is a recommendation.
It's on streaming, why not?
Yeah, why not? And I think this is important too, Nee. This is something you can watch with your whole family.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it had a little bit of violence in there with that dragon was tearing down.
But it's
But
fantasy.
it was few and far between.
Yeah. It was more so like fantasy type violence. No,
right.
because I don't recall seeing any blood other than slicing the hand. That was it.
Right. That's true. That is true. So yeah, y'all. All right. So that's a recommendation from Lord Tyson and Lady Diva. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Make sure you are liking the video. Make sure you share it with people, or just tell people, because it is spoilers. Tell people to come back and watch it once they watch it. But let them know it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. And I think I might be a little biased because I'm a big Game of Thrones House of the Dragon girl. So there's that. So yeah. So all right, y'all. We are gonna get on out of here. I think Lamont may revisit this with Lady K, Miss K. So yeah, so y'all be on the lookout for that as well, because she's a Game of Throneser as well. So yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully Lord Tyson will grace me again.
Yes, I will. It's been an honor to share the same stage with Lady Diva today. The honor was all mine in your grace's presence.
Oh, God. Thank you so much, y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.